which was pretty insane.
And that's secured in the win. Looks like these guys are ready to go. This is the last game of the day. Sword versus Infi. Secret Paladin versus Zoo.
Pretty good start for the Paladin so far. Getting 1 and 2 is also, is really important versus Zoo. And even the Consecration coming into hand is going to do some work. So it'll be interesting to see whether he goes into like Coin Juggler or whether he wants to save the coin for something a little bit later and just play it a tiny bit slow. Whereas on the flip side, double Doom Guard in Zoo on your opening hand is never fun.
Those hands, that hand looks very familiar. It's like whenever I play Zoo, I get double Doom Guard. Feels bad.
And from Infi, I think Secret Keeper Coin Avenge is pretty strong here. There's only really a Dart Bomb that punishes you, but then you follow up with Juggler, and suddenly, like, no matter what he kills, it's good for you.
Yeah, I like that too.
Oh, he's not going to use the coin yet. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the opportunity to coin the Avenge next turn as well. He might draw something a little bit better, and then he's not going to get that 2 damage, that extra 1 damage straight away anyway, so yeah, I think he's got time. Like I said, there's not a lot that punishes just playing a minion against Zoo.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, now he's got Redemption, so... Huh. So now you can play Knife Juggler, and then you can coin out Redemption or Avenge. I think I just prefer Avenge overall, because Redemption you only really want to hit Knife Juggler. But if you play Redemption, yeah, he's going for Avenge. I think Avenge is overall stronger.
Yeah, I like this. It creates a powerful minion on board that you can really struggle to actually deal with. As opposed to just regenerating another minion, especially because if the priority here is probably the Knife Juggler. So if he does that, then the Secret Keeper gets buffed. Then he can play Redemption next turn if he really wants to continue to buff it. But it is obviously, looking at the hand, only going to be a gang boss. So this is only getting better.
So not having a turn 3 play kind of makes Redemption, or a 2 cost makes Redemption a little bit weaker, because if he does go for the 1 cost minion, Redemption just isn't as great. Of course, Knife Juggler does make this awkward as well with a hero power.
Yeah, I just think on the flip side though, if you hero power and then Redemption, see where the juggle goes, which is perfect there for face, then like, well, if he kills the 1-1, he probably needs to use the gang boss for it. And if you use the gang boss on the 1-1, and he gets Redemption, then what's he going to do to the the 2 actual threats on the board?
And he still hasn't tested for Noble Sacrifice yet. And Redemption gets a great target here. Where's Avenge going to go? Hopefully on the 1-1 for Infi, and it does. So the power has been spread across his board, and the Knife Juggler is going to come back. So things looking pretty nice here for Infi.
Yep, and depending on how flashy he wants to get, he can actually run the 4-3 into the 2-1, and then use the Keeper of Uldaman to buff it back up to a 3-3.
Well, he can still buff up his Knife Juggler. Oh, well, there we go. He's got a perfect target now for the Keeper of Alderman. I just hear giggling Flame Imp at the moment.
He won't even do that. He'll just Consecrate.
Oh yeah, Consecrate's fantastic as well.
Just trade the 1-1 into the gang boss and just hit Consecrate and then carry on, I think. Or vice versa.
Yeah, it works either way, right?
Yep, same outcome. And again, now, like, even like Doomguard will throw away like most of his hand, and he even keeps the 1-1 alive.
I like it. You can Alderman it then next time.
Yeah, and now suddenly like Doomguard just doesn't feel like it does enough. Maybe he has to Implosion. Yeah.
Gets a 4.
He does get 4, which is okay.
Oh, Lotheb seems pretty decent as well.
Yeah, I suppose you Lotheb. I'm just thinking like, we can see Doomguard, which obviously changes our judgment, but I think it's because Alderman Creeper is a better turn next turn as opposed to Lotheb on 6. It's not like he had lethal, so.
And Sword's health is quite low at the moment. Hasn't quite resolved on the screen. 7 health, just has to throw a Doomguard, and he keeps his no, he got to throw everything. Sorry, he played the Void Caller. Bit of delay there for us. Nice board clear for here. This could be an opportunity for Sword to stabilize a little bit at least.
Yeah, it's going to be rough though, because with Creeper Alderman, and then you're putting a 3-4 and a 3-3 on the board that can't really be dealt with. Is he going for the juggle? Okay, that's interesting.
I guess he wants to snipe the 1/1s, or potentially
It's
snipe
just
the
because
Doomguard.
you could have gone Creeper Alderman and then juggled next turn with the Creeper.
And the juggler did nothing there.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I guess the
And now the
1/1...
juggler's just gonna die.
Yeah, and he gets an implosion on it as well. Wow, he taps, so he's not afraid of much here. And the second implosion can come down here on the juggler. Only gets a 2, shakes his head, not happy with the result there. But the pressure's now on Infi. He just needs to find 4 damage, which has been a little bit tough.
Yeah, but now he has a good turn. Can hero power. Yeah, this is nice. Alderman, kill the Void Caller, play Avenge. So now, how does the Zoo player actually deal with this? I don't think he can. He's Argus.
1 mana off.
Yeah,
One
that
mana.
1 mana.
Down to 2.
And the problem is he's gonna have Tyrion down before the Mal'Ganis.
He needs a taunt minion from this Dark Peddler to be able to stay alive. Oh, he gets one. A very old school Zoo card back in the day, about a year and a half ago. The Zoo was rocking those guys, 2 of them. 0/4s were viable once upon a time.
Yeah. Oh, but now the Doom got. Now there's no nice clear. So it's going to be Doomguard token. This is really close, actually. Although it's hard to see that he just won't draw another Consecrate or something. Oh, Blessed of Kings. He just plays Tyrion and gets these.
Puts his faith in the light.
And then with tokens, even for if the Creeper needs to be fully cleared up. There needs to be so much that happens this turn. And he can't life tap anymore, so...
Although Mal'Ganis is going to help a little bit. But not quite enough.
Yep. So that's going to be... He kills that 6.
Kill the Mal'Ganis,
Oh,
get
he
the weapon,
wins.
hit him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, Bless the King's the Tyrion. Oh no, because he'll be on... No, Tyrion won't die.
Oh, right, okay.
Is there a better way to do this? No. How awkward's that? Tyrion won't die, so he doesn't get the weapon. That's a little bit frustrating.
To be fair, though, clearing the Mal'Ganis hopefully will be enough, right?
Yeah, this is fine anyway, because what you do here is you use Tyrion on the 0/1 and run the Spider into the Mal'Ganis, I think.
Yep.
So then Tyrion's still a problem, right? It still needs to die, and then the weapons can spawn, and there's no healing, so...
Last straw. See if you can do anything. Power Overwhelming's not going to be enough. And Infi's going to take game number 1 here with the Secret Paladin. And Swords, Warlock Zoo just falls short.
Yeah, even without the Mysterious Challenger there, I think the opening was strong enough with the Secret Keeper Juggler, and the Avenge was really strong. And really hard for the Warlock to actually continually deal with, because as the Warlock you want to put on the pressure, but when the Paladin's already beaten you to it, you've got some problems. And Warlock doesn't really deal with multiple minions very well, especially that when they die they're actually buffing each other. And
Infi had such a strong hand at the start. He had a lot of kind of versatility. Avenge definitely helped. He had a nice redemption on Knife Juggler as well. So he having that kind of more aggressive kind of Secret Paladin definitely helped pay off in that matchup specifically, because he was able to keep the board a lot more steady and a lot more in his favour, especially early on.
Yep, good run overall for Infi so far. Not just going to see what decks are going to be locked in next. Be interested to see if he keeps all of the Warlock after losing with it. It's always fun to see what the preferences these guys have. In terms of, there are a lot of players who almost always just repetitively lock in the same deck, because to a certain extent in Conquest it doesn't matter as much past your first deck, and your first deck you pick's pretty random anyway. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. Have we got the deck list up yet? No, we've not.
They're still just making decisions by the looks of it. I mean, Secret Paladin's gone now for Infi, that's guaranteed. He has Control Warrior left. I think I saw a Druid as well. I don't think there's anything else that... I can't remember the last deck of Infi. But there's still Aggro Shaman for Sword. Him and Robin have both been running that deck this tournament. Of course, the Warlock Zoo. I'm pretty sure there's a Druid of his own as well. As for the last deck, again, I'm not sure. I'm only used to 3 decks in Conquest. It's, I think you're pretty much the same as me on that. Best of 7 Conquest isn't something that's very common in the Western scene. It's usually just best of 5.
Yeah, these guys seem to be taking a while over the deck choices. I suppose this is everything to play for. This is loser's bracket, so if you lose this, you are out of the tournament. And the winner of the tournament, I think it's just the winner, goes on to qualify for to join the rest of the StarLadder I League. So the rest of the EU and American players in the offline final. And this is going to be Reno Lock for Infi.
Yeah,
so this is going to be. I enjoy watching a bit of Reno Lock.
Yeah, he had a pretty good run with it. I remember yesterday. Yeah, I've started playing this deck a little bit myself, just kind of just intrigued by kind of its structure, and yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it, and it's good to watch as well because, I mean, Reno swings stuff so heavily in your favor as well. If you just draw Reno while you're playing, I mean, you can be so much more aggressive than you were before because at some point during the game you'll just go back to full, and if you've got board, it can be just completely devastating for your opponent.
Yeah, and I think we saw there that this isn't the original list that popped up, I think, from Surrender when the Reno first came out of the double Molten Giant. It's actually just a single Molten Giant list. So whenever he does draw that Reno, like you said, he is available to cast it and not have to worry about drawing drawing the duplicates out of his hand.
And I think Stan Sifka's run something quite similar recently, kind of just the one Molten Giant. I will probably become kind of the norm for the Reno deck, just so Reno is consistent when you need him. You are tapping, you're fighting for board. So I imagine that's going to be kind of like the cookie cutter, one copy of everything, just to make the efficiency of Reno, at least for now.
Yeah, Sword has a reasonable start with the 2/1 drops there. The Owl probably not going to do too much early on. Was that after Mulligan? It was after Mulligan. Okay, so it's interesting to see whether he coins or not. Probably just Flame Imp's okay initially.
I think Flame Imp's just fine.
And he'll know by now. What type of deck he's playing against because we would have saw it yesterday. He does coin both out. Maybe he just wants to put as much pressure on as possible. But with no 2-drop that's worth playing, as the silencing nothing isn't really going to help you. It's going to be rough. It's almost guaranteed a tap. Yeah, he taps over the second void blocker, which is fine. The egg's really important in this matchup, actually, because something Reno Lock has going for it is the control aspect and the volume of AoE it's got access to. Whereas slightly nerfed against the Warlock, because Demon Wrath only affects non-demons. It can still do some work, but with the egg down as well, even less chance of Demon Wrath happening, because the egg would get procced quite easily anyway.
Yeah, and as it looks like it, so his board is very demon-centric right now, so Demon Wrath just wouldn't be great. But, like I said, and I think I don't think this deck was running it, but Stan Sifka's version even runs Twist Endeavor at the moment. So, again, there's even more AoE to be found in the future.
Yep, and Infi's actually, as you can see now with the Faceless Manipulator, he's included Arcane Golem, one Faceless, one Power Overwhelming, so the chance to actually just do a bit of a crazy burst combo out of nowhere is still there, which is always cool to actually play.
So a lot of imps coming down here to be cleared up. There's just imps everywhere, and then Argus looks really nice here with a Mortal Coil as well, so he does get quite a steady turn.
Yeah, and even having the Shadow Flame is important as well against Zoo, just to be able to just deal with anything. And with Sylvanas coming up next turn, probably Sylvanas on the board, the Warlock normally doesn't want to deal with Sylvanas, so it might hit a silence. But then Shadow Flame and a 5-attack minion deals with almost everything the Zoolock's going to put on the board.
This is quite an overwhelming board for a Zoolock to deal with, especially since if this Warlock can win board and keep board, it might be very hard going into the later game for Sword to kind of come back because of all the kind of power plays that are going to come from Infi, like Sylvanas and Molten Giants and stuff like that.
Yep, Lotep goes down there. There's not much else to do at the moment. Kind of needs that egg and maybe needs an Argus, but again, it's going to be so difficult with Sylvanas now. And you get to the point now as the aggro deck versus Reno Lock where you're like, I can't even get enough board. Never mind, kill the guy through Reno. So, and the fact that Reno's already in hand for Infi, he can play it whenever he wants.
That's the beauty of this deck. Once you do draw a Reno, it does give you a huge advantage over your opponent. Not on all matchups, but in most matchups. And depending on how greedy you want to play or how conservative, will depend on how what kind of risks you can take with this deck. I think Reno gives your Warlock an opportunity to be more aggressive, because you don't have to worry about the damage you'll take to face. Doomguard to hand, not great. Does have to tap for something else. Can get 2 eggs down now. And he does have a Direwolf Alpha as well, so he has an opportunity to pop them.
Yeah, I think dropping the 2 eggs is fine now. You guarded a bit more against AoE, and like you said, with the Direwolf Alpha down, you can just maybe run them in, but the problem is you don't want to probably run both in, because you need one to like sort of put Infi off playing the AoE.
It's BGH to cover that Mal'Ganis when he eventually shows up. And the small board being developed from Infi almost looks like he's playing kind of Zulok himself with the style of board he's got, but he's got some real heavy hitters coming up in his deck, and being able to tap and Reno back to full when he chooses is going to be a massive influence on this match.
Yep, Owl on the Egg's nice. Is there any reason not to Golem here? Are you really bothered about holding off a combo? I'm just going to clear the Egg off, I guess, to stop an Argus. Oh, no, he's just going face. He just decides to make whatever I say, so I'm wrong. That's pretty funny.
It's because he's got Reno. He just can be as brave as he wants to be, I guess. Or maybe he's thinking about, double Arcane Golem for the future. Maybe that's something he's considering.
Yeah, it's just because he doesn't really need to do that. And I suppose to a certain extent, he can let his life run a little bit low to go for Molten Giant Reno. Pretty nice turn, drop an 8/8, and then just heal to full. Why not?
With a 4/6 to boot. That's quite a strong board to develop off getting all your life back. So yeah, it's pretty intense. And there's that Demon Wrath we were talking about earlier. It's a bit more effective now. Well, not in this situation specifically, but a lot of the demons kind of got cleaned up in the early game. So I'll have a lot more targets going forward at least. Do you just slam the giant now, maybe? And force a reaction?
Fine. What, are you scared of any burst? I think that's the thing to think about. 18 is a lot to ask, and he's got 7, so you need 11. But, I don't think you need to just drop the giant and hope. I probably wouldn't even mind Reno.
Well, he's got a lot of damage in hand now with that Power Overwhelming. How much has he got altogether?
Yeah, so it'll be 16, right?
So he has that next turn.
Yeah, and there's currently no way that you can stop him killing him, and that's game, right?
It's going to be game next turn, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a really cool addition to this deck from Infi that you can just run combo because you're running one-offs anyway. Dropping these cards in instead of a couple of others. So one of the standard decks we've seen, I think, is the one Sifka originally made, which was
Fugan,
Starlag, etc. Yeah, so taking those out and putting oh, by the way, my deck can just burst you down from 16. It's pretty nice. It's more than Druid combo, right?
Yep, and having access to a full heal as well, and all the other sort of awesome stuff you get from that deck. Yeah, I quite like this idea. Having that. I don't know if I prefer it to Fugan Stalag actually. But Fugan, Fugan Stalag give you an 11/11, right? Eventually.
Yeah, I think the idea with those is that the threats on the board and the 7 attack one, I can't remember its name, is good for Shadow Flame as well. But who cares when you can just combo someone down? And there we go. So that's another game to Infi, and 2-0 up now, and he just has his warrior and his druid left to take the games, and this Zoo deck just not putting in the work it needs so far.
And once again, Infi has an extremely strong start with the 2 decks he opened with last time. I'm pretty sure he opened with the same decks. And then it was his warrior, which is kind of the problem. I kind of like to see him leave his warrior for last and just get the win with his other deck, and then kind of work on the issues the warriors had before.
Was Infi's warrior patron?
Control.
Oh, it was control. Okay. Yeah, I suppose that's fine. I don't see why not picking the druid now. It would be okay.
Well, if you... maybe. I know, leave the druid for last, though. That's always fun in Conquest. snagging a win with a druid is not entirely difficult in this format, especially if it's your last deck. But if you if he gets the druid win now, and then he can switch to the control warrior, unless he makes a good read on his opponent. If he reads that sword's going to play Zoo again, he
just go for his druid.
Yeah, he goes for the druid.
This is fine. Leave the warrior to last, which is okay. And let's be honest, like it does have an impact a little bit, but nothing too big in Conquest because you do have to win with each deck. So even though he could get a win with this druid, he still has to take a win with the warrior. Although whatever's still left over, that might make a bit of an impact based on the matchups. But this is fine. The druid's good, and I'd be amazed if he can't take a win with this one. He's been playing so well as well, like really solid overall. Well,
I thought that about Infi yesterday, actually. Even though he lost the series, I felt overall he was really solid, very strong, especially his Reno Warlock and his mid-range Paladin. He's again shown that strength for those two decks today. It looks like the Warlock is going back in. If you'd picked the Warrior here, he might have had a better matchup, but you know, he's got Wild Growth. Things are looking good already.
Yep, and on the Warlock side, Creeper, Juggler, and Boom. They're okay opening hands, but nothing too crazy. He does actually throw the Juggler, which is fine. Although now he doesn't really have anything to challenge the Aspirant.
Yep, that's going to be a bit of an issue. And a lot of ramp here for Infi. Let's see what's going to happen. Tempo Abusive. Guessing on the board. Maybe... Oh, now he can challenge the Aspirant with the Direwolf Alpha, so the Abusive was actually a really good pickup for him. Well, a one drop at least.
Yeah, he's going to take the Direwolf to trade into, which is okay. It removes the Aspirant and slows it down, of course. Stops the Shade being played on turn 2, which is nice. It's just not often you see the Direwolf just sitting on its own, not done too many trades. But the Creeper follow-up seems okay. Oh, wow, the Flaming was huge. Getting that one drop just to slide in. Now he's got like so much pressure early on, which is what you need in this matchup. You just pressure the Druid and make them try and react to you, and a lot of the time they don't have it.
Yep, that's
is this worth Innovate Force?
Innovate Force, wow. He's actually thinking about it.
His follow-up's terrible though. That's the problem.
I think a turn 5 Ancient of Law is a lot better. But yeah, Warlock's definitely doing what it needs to do to win this game. Swarm the board with small minions, overwhelm that Druid, and we can hear the attacks go through. Not quite see him. Although this Void Caller is not going to find anything, you know, for another body coming down.
Yeah, it's important to actually just drop minions. You can't just say with Void Call, oh well, there's no demon in hand, so I'm not going to play it. As Zoo, you just throw everything down as quick as possible. The demon's more of a bonus and a good effect as opposed to vital to not playing the card. You don't just want to tap pass.
So that swipe is going to be useful. But Lofeb's going to lock it out, which is going to be really tough. He's going to lock out a lot of this hand. Shade might be the only thing you'll be able to play with a hero power.
Yep, he trades away, and like you said, he's free from swipe for one turn at least. And suddenly the Druid's on 14 health. And he has to trade into the Lotheb. The problem is, like, you could make the argument to trade into, say, the Void Caller and sort of try and get multiple trades out of the law, but one, that's pretty slow, and two, your opponent could just have Mal'Ganis or Doomguard in hand, which makes it very, very difficult.
You just don't have time at this point, which is unfortunate for him. But he can at least play Knife Juggler with the Void Walker, and then Void Claw.
Too off leaf.
Yeah, I mean, just keep swarming the board, just keep dropping stuff. I think Void Walker is a good one as well, because you know, he'll have to punch through that with something. Probably the Drake.
I wouldn't actually mind the Power Overwhelming here on the Drake. Because you play around the Spell Powered Swipe then, don't you?
Yes, that's a good point as well.
Because otherwise, Spell Powered Swipe actually destroys you. Oh, okay, well, Void Caller does similar, that's fine. He does remove it. He has 6 damage next turn, well, 7 including the 1-1. And he has Power Overwhelming. So, and a Juggle, which is important. Even the extra damage from the Juggle is big.
Huh, this is tough. Because if he swipes one of them, he's got no idea what's going to come out. It looks like he's just going to do it anyway. And hopefully, hope it's not a Mal'Ganis or a Doom Guard, to say the least.
Yeah, the issue is everything else is quite weak actually. If you did like Force of Nature, then like yeah, you kill a Void Collar and a token, but that's it. So this is actually gonna stop the juggle as well. Oh, there's the egg. Okay, so he's got 7, 8, 9. He's 1 off. If the egg hits the face, I think he should just tap. Yeah, he's got plenty of health.
Find maybe an abusive, another overwhelming. Oh well, he can just.
Oh, he can't egg implosion his own egg. That'd be a sick play.
Well, he just gets that cheeky knife now. Find out where it goes.
It probably wants it faced.
Face.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
So he has to clear everything now. Actually, he can leave the egg alive because he'll be on 1.
But can he even do that?
I don't know.
That's the problem. That turns that. Yeah, he can. He can. He just Force of Natures.
I guess hero power in there as well, so it gives him 1 health.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll see that though. I mean, it's the only way to clear, right? But also, there's always the Void Collar risk. But it's the only way to actually clear something. Or clear everything but the egg, of course. This is okay. Uh oh. Oh, that's not gonna be it.
That's gonna be it.
I suppose if he cleared, it was only a matter of time till he fell behind again. So he's made the play to try and just pull ahead on board. But Power Overwhelming's going to do it, and this Zoolock finally wins a game.
So Sword takes his first game of the tournament here with Zoolock as well. So he's on the road to climbing back through the losers bracket and maybe find himself in the finals.
Yeah, we've got some mind games to go now because the next... so Sword has Shaman, Druid, and Warrior left. And Infi has his Druid and Warrior. So if he picks Druid again, and his opponent doesn't pick Warrior, then the matchup's a bit less, you know, the Shaman can destroy the Druid, and then the Druid mirrors the Druid mirror. And then same with the Warrior, if he picks Warrior and his opponent picks Druid, then like, you can just like get sort of sniped really quickly. So this is a bit of a tough one actually.
I think, yeah, so you need to make a good read, right?
Yeah, I think Sword might just pick Shaman, actually. Because Shaman's got to beat one of these decks anyway. And Shaman is the one that doesn't have any particular, like, super hard counter. Because even Control Warrior, it's not great, but sometimes the whole point of Shaman is it ends the game by, like, turn 5 or 6. So if they don't draw a weapon, you can just burst them down.
Yeah, Shaman seems like a pretty solid pickup against both decks. If you want an overall good matchup...
you should destroy Druid. You should destroy Druid.
Yeah, you'll destroy Druid. Warrior, you could probably still win as well if you get the... Well, it's the Bear Shaman, right? You need to have all the tools you need quite early on. But if you was to pick the Druid... yeah, I think Shaman's a good pick for him. As for Infi, what do you think he should pick? Do you think the Druid's the safest thing? Overall?
Probably, because you've either got... Well, you've got a mirror, a good matchup, and a bad matchup. So it's the most even. Whereas the Warrior, you've got potentially 2 bad matchups. He does go for the... Oh no, this is...
Sword's Druid.
This is the Druid from Sword. So he's gone for Druid with his old... The good old Finley in there.
Finley and Cenarius, the ever popular Cenarius in these decks. Yeah, nothing... And there's Harrison, so if he does run into the Warrior, he's going to have a little bit of extra help for winning that matchup as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit better.
I think it's going to be a Druid mirror.
See what Infi's locked in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Druid mirror. Okay. So we got one right. Infi picked his Druid.
Who's going to get Wild... Oh, Wild Growth and Innovate in Sword's hand. Things are looking nice. They double Innovate. I think that's a bit too much.
Yeah, you might actually throw an Innovate, but then keep the rest. Oh, he just threw the... Okay, he's confident. He's drawing Dr. Boom this game. Force of Nature, definitely not good.
Oh, wow.
He did have Innovate Shade as well on Infi's side to actually, you know, at least half keep up. What's the draw, though?
So Sword eagerly awaits his Dr. Boom. So far.
Eagerly awaits a minion to play.
A minion that can use Innovates for, at least. Second Shade. Do you develop the 1/1s? They're going to get 2 damage.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're particularly open to swipe as it doesn't deal with the shade. It's just just gonna hero power though. I mean, either way, it's not too big, I guess. He's definitely playing the shade next turn. Oh wow!
No minions.
Look, he's even smiling. He's even smiling. He knows. I'm so greedy, keeping both innovates and one growth.
Yeah, it was pretty greedy, and now double shade is down.
Yeah, so now Infi's actually in a reasonable position versus what we originally saw in the opening sort of.
Oh my days!
Another swipe! Oh my god!
Swipe wrap.
What are the odds? Someone do the maths.
So is it time to double swipe base to clear that shade?
Definitely
no.
not. Oh my god, this is... Ooh. When ramp doesn't work, guys.
Wow!
Oh, just innovate Emperor, wow. Not that it does too much on his board at the moment, but I really like this play, attacking with the bigger shade. You should attack with both. Because, like, what punishes the 5-5 that wouldn't punish the 3-3?
So he's got to make a choice now. Does he? I like just the one because he's giving him a choice. Do you kill my shade? Do you kill
Savage draw!
Innovate.
Oh.
Wrath for one.
Innovate, savage, like innovate, swipe, wrath, whatever the hell he wants at this point. This is pretty funny.
Double swipe. Even Infi's like, really?
This game.
Are your draws
But the
that
shade's
bad?
still up. Oh, he's one man off Sylvanas, which kind of sucks. But you can spawn the 2/2s. He's just seen both swipes. What are they going to do? And then just hero power, drop Sylvanas next turn, and just keep up with the pressure.
And you can leave this shade alone now. Just leave him in stealth until he's big enough to survive a wrath at least.
So he's big enough to handle himself on his own.
Big game hunter. Wow. Okay, gets a cycle for one. Maybe you'll find a 4-drop. Shredder would be perfect here. Do another wrath.
Oh my god. Who shuffled this deck? Who has shuffled this deck? Holy crap. Oh my god. And the problem now is he's had to use Wrath to cycle, when Hero Power would have been perfectly fine to get rid of that 1/1. But he had to cycle, so now both Wraths are gone. And it's actually really flexible to hit with 3 damage for the Wrath as opposed to just tagging for 1 there.
See, I think one thing Infi can have considered here is Druid of Claw and Taunt and attacking with the Shade. He's seen 2 Wraths go. He's seen 2 swipes go. He does get Dr. Boom finally. He was looking for that in his kind of first 2 draws. And he just slams it down.
Yep, he needs to do something. And he has combo next turn. So he might get away with winning just, but we can see swipes in hand.
So do you swipe? So you can like attack with the Shade for 6, swipe the Aspirant, and then you run your Sylvanas into Dr. Boom, but he only has 1 health.
That's fine.
But he's used all his swipes and all his wraths.
Oh.
Unless he
is this just lethal if he does this?
Swipes his own.
Oh, he's gonna just swipe Wrath, is he? What?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Look, if you can do that with the bombs, then fine. He could have wrathed his own Sylvanas actually as well. I think that was the original plan. But hey, if you get the boombots to do it for you, then fair play, you're a Druid God.
So now all he needs is a Savage Roar to close out this game. On Infi's side, because he has the Druid Claw charge as well. So he's very close to just finishing off. BGH, your own Dr. Boom, which just got stolen. That doesn't feel great.
No, and you just slam Harrison here. There's no reason not to. At this point, you can't play around combo your opponent having it because you're dead anyway. So you just play what you can do to actually give you the best chance of winning. And this is kind of awkward. Maybe you kill the BGH with the Shade.
I would just maybe
you can wrath it, I guess.
Druid the Claw and just into Taunt and then wrath the BGH.
I was going to drop.
I'm not sure about the draw there. What was he looking for?
I'm not. Maybe Savage Draw wouldn't have done it because he wouldn't have had enough mana. Yeah, I like the Taunt, and I either use the Shade to kill it or use the Wrath. The Wrath probably would have been better because let's be honest, smacking someone in the face for 7 when they're on 14 health is pretty nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And then he'd still have to, and then Sword would be in a situation where he'd have to commit combos to stay alive. But now it's just looking kind of It's just not looking great.
The attacking phase now is okay though. The second you commit to the 1 damage, you don't want to blow another 7 damage there. Combo does not kill him, but it does clear the board.
What does Sword get to keep? I guess he gets to keep Harrison?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Gets to keep Harrison and do 11, 13 damage to face.
Pretty good. No, I wouldn't complain too much about that. Ancient of Law is going to be able to recharge Infi's hand at this point. I think it was a misplay, not killing that BGH with a Wrath. He would have been in a much better situation, I think. Oh, Dr. Boom, that's a good card. Just play that card.
Yeah, I think you played Boom here. The odds on your opponent drawing the second combo piece after just playing combo are so low that you just play Boom. He's got 1 card, so he needs to now draw into BGH to be able to, again, stay alive.
But he BGH'd his own Dr. Boom earlier after it got stolen by Sylvanas, so he doesn't actually have it. He needs Savage Roar.
Oh, that's true, yeah. He doesn't run double BGH, does he?
Yeah, he's going to need Savage Roar to survive here from Harrison. Wait, what? Unless he just heals?
So he's relying on his opponent not being able to draw 2 damage.
And depending on when this boom bot goes.
Boom bots, yeah. Oh wow, that's like the perfect boom bot.
So, do you go for the 1 draw or the 2 draws? I think it's the 1.
Yeah, you go for 1 first, because Hero Power doesn't do anything anyway.
Oh, that'll do it.
That'll work. Yeah. So Infi taking the Druid Mirror, so now he just has Warrior to either stave off Druid, Warrior, or Shaman. He needs 1 go, 1 win. And yeah, I mean, we're probably going to see Sword locking Druid again, just to get the win on the board, I guess. But the Warrior Mirror can flip either way, of course, as most mirrors can, and the Shaman one really heavily relies on the Shaman basically getting an insane opener, or the Warrior will just stall out the game too long and the Shaman will burn out of cards.
What do you think cost him that game? Was his mulligan? Did that mulligan actually just cost him the game? Or I guess it would have if he.
Yeah, I think obviously he drew terribly. To draw into just spell after spell after spell is horrible. But I think keeping both when you have Wild Growth and on the coin is super greedy. You literally have to draw into like either Boom or like a Boom, or you need to draw into either 7-drop or like Shredder and Druid of the Claw. And it's like he had nothing. He was like top decking for these cards, and it's like you can't do that. You need to give yourself one more chance. And with Wild Growth Coin Innovate, that's still enough. You don't need the other Innovate, and it did actually ruin him in the end.
Yeah, it was very greedy. You may have found a minion instead, which he could have actually played with the other Innovate if he'd mulliganed that away as well. He did have a series of bad draws, and he almost got something going, but ultimately he was just so far behind with those shades coming down so early, then the Forasan, and it was innovate double swipe had to come down. It's pretty rough, but Control Warrior is definitely going to be coming from Infi here. It doesn't look like they're showing any of the decks, so I imagine he's going to stay with it.
No, I think that that's right. No, that deck was the other one.
Was it? I thought it was exactly the same.
No, that deck was Sword's deck, and Infi's one is the one with Nexus Champion, as you can see now. The good old Nexus Champion Sarad.
Good old Harrison.
But I don't think it did. I don't think it actually did too much yesterday. I don't think we saw anything crazy from Sarad, right?
No, I think he used it once and he was going to die anyway. He used it to see what he would have gotten. And I think it was just something really janky, which was just not playable. But keeping the Harrison is going to be great. You know, he's going to have be able to get rid of Wonder's Despite, which is great. Alright, yep. So good hand for Infi here. Has some low cost minions, has a Executors ready for a first threat. And not only that, he does have Harrison ready for that Death Spite, which is in Sword's hand. So it's looking good.
Yep, although on the flip side of that, the Justicar is really important in this mirror. Whoever gets it down first and can start tanking up normally has a huge advantage.
Yeah, Justicar definitely We're saying, oh, Acolyte of Pain, so everything's just lining up perfectly here. The Deathbite is going to be able to deal with Acolyte, only get 1 draw, but then Harrison's going to get a draw as well, so he's guaranteed at least 2 draws going into his next few turns, because he does have the coin. Or does he actually attack the Armor Smith? Oh wow, so he's going to get more draws from the Acolyte here by coining at Harrison.
Yeah, I think what you got to remember though is this matchup will probably go to fatigue. So you might not want to draw a lot of cards. That's the worry. Because if this goes to fatigue, which most warrior mirrors do, you need to be very, very careful about how you use your card draw and if you use it at all.
Although I would have imagined having hand advantage at the start of the match is also very good. I mean, if he had played Harrison there, he'd have to shield slam Harrison and he'd have board. I don't see why you wouldn't coin Harrison there. What do you have in your hand that you would use the coin on at the moment? You would have drawn 2 cards. I just think, I don't know. You would have. It's going to get rid of Deathbite eventually, right?
Yeah, it's just the tough one of like, so the warrior won't want a Deathbite face, and if you Deathbite Acolyte, it's still just 1 card from Acolyte because you do not want to draw multiple cards from Acolyte. That's the problem. It literally, this matchup just should come down to fatigue, because both players, as you can tell already, are playing very slowly and very safe.
Yeah. So decisions must be made here. Armor up, pass, owl. Oh yeah, so he is. He seems to agree with you as well here. So doesn't want to draw multiple cards. Going to go for the fatigue game. Got a long game in store for you guys.
Yeah, this is actually the right way to play the matchup. I mean, you can't. It really is. If you go into fatigue before your opponent, especially after they've just played Justicar, you're in trouble and you're probably going to lose.
So just going for sword first. So he has the edge, right?
Yeah, the problem here is that like nothing feels good for Infi. You using your resources at like maximum efficiency also is key. You don't want to like just execute a 6-3 or the Armor Smith or something like that. He can't play his Acolyte. His Taskmaster is going to be important to proc and execute on something bigger, like as we can see the Ysera.
Yeah, this is tough. He doesn't want to play. If he silences his own Acolyte, he's not going to want to play any more card draw. So that
that Acolyte will almost certainly never get played.
So he could Harrison, and then he can coin Cruel Task on. Oh, he goes for the Execute. Okay.
Okay, wants to get it off, and this is not good, by the way. Although this is like, well, look at his board, it's nice. Like this is still not good because you just used an Execute on a 6-3. Like that is going to bite him in the long run, unless he can really cash in on this board control. He's in some trouble. And doing the Execute means he can means that Sword can be a little bit more free with his removal now. So like he could like shield slam the Harrison and play Taskmaster onto the 1/1 or something.
And it looks like he's going to do exactly that. And he regains the board, so Infi.
Yeah, and the thing here is he gets the board back, and the 2/2 minion, and this is where it gets really tricky. The 2/2 minion has to be dealt with, or it's just going to chip away at the armor, and then you get even further ahead. But by dealing with the 2/2 minion, you're using resources to deal with a 2/2. Like Deathbite into the 2/2 is horrible in this matchup, but he has to do it because otherwise the damage is going to stack up. So I really like the way Sword's playing this match. He's doing really well so far. And he plays the Acolyte. Wow. Okay. So Infi's just decided that maybe with the Sylvanas draw he can actually make something happen, but ooh. And look, see, it's like he could have War Axe, but now he's making him draw 2 cards. So now he's going to War Axe and kill the Acolyte, I imagine. Yeah, and it's going to mill him even more. He's playing this really well.
Both of them are playing Revenge as well. Interesting. That crops up in the 2 Control Warrior decks in this tournament. Alright, so moving forward here, he can coin Ysera, but that does not feel good when there's so much armor on your opponent's side. You kind of want to use your Sarah when your opponent has exhausted a lot of his removal.
Yep. The problem here is if he shield slams into, say, the Sylvanas or the Shield Maiden, then he's got no removal in his hand. The Sylvanas is obviously the best because it could steal something, but then your opponent could just shield slam Sylvanas. So it's definitely scary here. This is such a rough position for Infi.
Maiden doesn't seem great either. Oh wow.
Yeah. This is as good as it was going to get, but again, you've just BGH'd Harrison.
And not got the Boom or Grom.
What happens when Grom or Boom come down? Then you've got to brawl, but what if you have to brawl earlier? And every single time you use removal, you've got to think, oh crap, I'm behind.
And it looks like Ysera's going to come down first for Sword here. Not afraid of much removal on his opponent's side. Sylvanas into Shield Slam your old Sylvanas. Thank you very much. I'll have that, Ysera. And now the tables have turned.
Yeah, he can still kill. He can just Shield Slam the Ysera, right?
Shield Block, Shield Slam. Shield Block, Armor at Shield Slam, yeah.
Yeah.
On your own Ysera, which kind of sucks. But you got Infi to use a Shield Slam on his own Sylvanas, so it's kind of 1-for-1, right, as far as removal goes.
Yeah, the only issue is obviously that now he can still play another Ysera. Okay, so Shield Slam goes down. Not much else you can really do this turn. We're just the feed's just gonna stall for a second. Let's there we go, and we're back. Oh, and at last, Infi's drawn Justicar, so I imagine we're gonna see armor, Justicar armor, and then probably just hit the 1-3 to draw to cycle through to try and catch him up in fatigue, maybe.
I wonder how Sarad actually changes this matchup, this mirror, because you gain an extra card over the other warrior, right? Oh, he plays his own Ysera, so he's just like, you've used both your Shield Slams now. You're gonna. This is
kind of scary though, because he's leaving a minion on board to potentially have the minion proc execute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he doesn't have it.
Yeah, and it's not like he can use Ysera Awakens to help.
Unless he just wants to get rid of his own Acolyte. He gets one draw here. Is it gonna be the execute? No, it's the Taunt Monkey. 3-4. Can't quite remember its name off the top of my head. Do you remember its name?
Fierce Monkey.
Fierce Monkey, yeah. Oh, still searching for that execute. Uses his revenge. Slam into execute? How much card draw do you want, buddy?
Oh, he got it. He got it. Wow, okay.
Rewarded for all his efforts.
Yeah. And you can actually follow up with stuff as well, which is nice. He's going to play that monkey onto the board. I think we have a slight spectator bug, actually, with the crazy floating golden card that we cannot get. Oh, is this a DC?
I'm not
As
sure.
Infi's just took his headset off. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Come on,
Let's
guys.
not redo a warrior mirror, guys. Come on, we've got to agree that no one wants that.
Ah, dear.
Oh no! So that was difficult without being able to see the amount of cards in each deck. That was difficult to actually work out who was ahead and who wasn't there. Because I think the card count is very, very important in this matchup. Let's see if we can get a reconnect. Hopefully, but yeah, that was definitely a close one. I think Sword was actually getting ahead there in terms of his actual playing.
Finding that execute changed a lot.
Yeah, getting the execute was huge, but Infi did get into his Justicar as well, so, maybe could have evened it up. But yeah, definitely a tough one, and, as you can see, the Warrior Mirror is quite a long drawn out affair most of the time.
Oh, wait. Oh,
we're back in! Awesome. Oh, so I'm so glad. And not just because of it's a Warrior Mirror, but I'm glad because it was an interesting game, and to reset everything that had just happened and all those decisions would have really sucked. So the True Heart's gone down. We see Infi is 1 armor behind Sword, but has a bit of a stronger board. The Taunt Monkey's probably just going to kill the True Silver. Infi's whipped the headset off again. He's not happy. He's asking, is he allowed to play Alex Strauzer? Is that fair? Can you please check this?
This isn't fair. What are you doing? But it looks like Yeah, Alex is actually going to chip away at that health, and now it's only armor he can gain. What can you do in response here? Do you just... I guess you can still brawl after a shield block, so you could definitely shield block and try and fish for something. Brawl just doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, I mean, he has an option. He could play like he could play like a Laughing Sister and then brawl and give him a better chance of winning, but it's definitely rough. And
oh wow!
Oh my lord, Astral Communion. Yeah. That's the card, right?
Discard your hand and gain 10 mana crystals. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's definitely what the warrior doesn't want. And sometimes Sarad gives you bad cards.
Just gives you garbage, unfortunately. Yep. And that's probably one of the worst things he could have had, because he can't even use it. It just sits in his hand and clogs his hand up.
Yep, I'm surprised he's not just snapped Ysera Awakens here. Ysera Awakens just go face and play, probably just play the Armor Smith afterwards and tank up.
Yeah,
because that's a lot of damage. That just gets rid of like pretty much the armor, especially if he wants a War Axe instead. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Because it would have played around Brawl as well.
These players don't like to play aggressively at all in this match.
No, they're not like me. I just want to hit face all the time.
Yeah, I would have totally done that. That would have been excellent. I mean,
you win by making your opponent on 0 health, right?
Yeah, as far as I know. Maybe they don't know that yet. Maybe that's why he was asking when he took his headphones out. How do I win this game again? It's just so much armor.
Okay, so what is the best? The problem is Revenge isn't procced yet. So he could do something pretty fancy with Revenge and then get him.
Is it a Brawl time?
It might be Brawl time, but if Alex wins, then Infi's in trouble. That was the middle ground issue. He can actually coin into his own one though, which is okay, but he's still very behind on health. Although he still has his own Alex Trouser, right? So he can still come back.
Yep, still got his own Alex. Both of them got Dr. Boom. Speak of the devil, there he is. Just seen a brawl. Seems like a perfect opportunity to drop that guy. And then armor up.
Yep, this looks okay.
Have a clean trade here. Protect
again, it's really important to hit your hero power every turn now. And
why
in this matchup,
wouldn't you trade there?
I guess so basically, because the fatigue match, you want to do as much damage as possible, and because he's so far ahead on health, and he's just seen Brawl, he just doesn't care. Because it's like, well, you have to trade your 5/5 into me. It's like, he's not just going to go back into face to even up the damage, is he? So I like that. I like the face attack. That was nice. Something strikes me that Sword has played a lot of Warrior Mirrors, because he's doing all these plays very well.
Yeah, I don't think Infi really figured out his entire play before he made it then, because he kind of did the trade there with the weapon, and he was just like, what do I do now? I guess I'll play this guy.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you said, Sword just seemed to be considering a lot more in this mirror.
Yeah, and the fact that Sword has the Ysera Awakens for an extra 5 damage burst is pretty big. You can't really play around Awakens, although Infi will know that there's still a Ysera card in his hand and it could be anything. But you imagine it wouldn't be a Laughing Sister or a Drake at this point, because it probably would have been played by now.
Maybe a Dream, maybe a Nightmare, but still potential burst, right?
Yeah. And suddenly this game's getting progressively worse, and there's not a lot Infi can do to actually come back, I don't think.
He's very far behind. Guess he's figuring the Armor Smith to squeeze in that extra 1 damage. That seems reasonable. That's not a draw you want to see. So does he face tank 5 damage here?
The problem is as well. Okay. Don't know whether he's going to run Grom in first to kill the Armor Smith, maybe. Because the issue here is that, like, even if he shield blocks, he gains 5 armor, but he goes 1 card deeper into his deck, which, you know, Fatigue's going to hit soon if he's not already dead anyway. Oh, the Boom's probably the best pickup that could have happened there, though.
But he's afraid of the Death Spite and what it's capable of. That's interesting. So 60 health for Sword, 19 for Infi, and the board belongs to Sword right now. Armor at pass? Yeah, I guess you can. You want him to play something.
Yeah, he just doesn't need, you know, like Sword just doesn't need to do anything now. Just needs to wait the game out and only really play one minion at a time.
And it's got to this point, guys. Armor at passing. And yeah, this is the fatigue war. It's just about to begin. Waiting for the first player to kind of commit something strong.
I'm surprised the Geddon just didn't come down to me. Because how to deal with Geddon? If he shield slams, then you Grom's safe.
5 cards left in Infi's deck. I didn't quite see the card count for Sword either. But he's got so much health to deal with, and he's letting him gain 4 armor in a turn. So while he waits, things are not looking great.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So the Belcher's going to come down, because the thing is as well, Grom, Ysera Awakens is 15 damage on demand, which is a lot. Especially when your opponent's only got 10 real health and 19 armor at the moment. And here we go. This is where you play the 1 minion, answer this 1 minion. If you answer it, well, you've got less answers for whatever I'm going to play next. And a Belcher, although not threatening really as a minion on its own, hitting 3 damage a turn when you're only armoring up for 4 is pretty big when your opponent's getting full armor from it. I'd kind of like to see Grom there. Grom Awakens, run the Belcher into 1-2. Oh, okay. Sylvanas changes things a bit.
Yeah,
maybe
Sylvanas. And then armor up, and then he has to deal with this nuisance with something. And that, like you said, is just another resource he's going to be throwing away. That's not going to hit Grom. It's not going to hit Baron Geddon. Oh, Slam's not great at this point in the game, where he's only got 3 cards left in deck.
He'll need to slam to actually kill something as opposed to draw a card. Yeah, you can slam this way. Slam Belcher now, yeah, this is fine. This is as good as it's going to get. But now he can't really play anything threatening because Brawl's a card.
Not only that, Sylvanas is a bit of a nuisance too. Oh wow, look at that hand from Sword, and look at his health. Just doesn't have to do anything ever. If he chooses. Just armor at pass. Wait till he plays stuff.
Yeah, I like the Lotheb though. Because the Sylvanas is probably going to die from the Armor Smith and the token now. But Lotheb leaves a threat on board as well, so you can't really ignore it. It's not like you can just armor up and pass in return.
Did get the execute, so that's his last execute. Dr. Boom does come down now to challenge the Lotheb. But things are already looking like it's going Sword's way. Can Infi actually do anything realistically to kind of win this game?
I don't believe so, to be honest.
At 80 health, full hand full of threats. And last card here for Sword. Which is a Sludge Belcher. Okay. You can.
Yeah, I like the Geddon here.
Hit with the.
Because although the Lotheb dies, the Geddon puts on so much pressure, and then they answer the Geddon, and then you just play Grom. He's gonna go with Sludge Belcher though, so maybe he's just being super safe. He's just being like really, really slow.
So let's have a look at the threats in each hand. Geddon, Grom, as far as minion threats go for Sword, whereas Grom, Boom, and Geddon for Infi. He has 2 pieces of hard removal, the Shield Slam and the Execute, whereas Infi has 1 Execute and a Brawl. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, this seems like a perfect Geddon turn.
Yeah, not going to get much better.
This is interesting. Interesting. So it comes down now to what sword is willing to use to get rid of this. To get rid of this Geddon. He just has weapon though, and now he can just throw Grom out. Hit the.
Well, he does have BGH, but like you said, he has BGH, Execute, and Brawl, and even Ysera Awakens. So he's going to tank the 7, prop the Grom, and require an answer. The Grom's probably going to eat the Execute. Infi doesn't really have any other choice. And then once Grom eats the Execute, some like Geddon's going to do some work, I imagine.
And Baron, yeah. So BGH is going to come down now. And everything is reset.
Well, you can BGH or you can Ysera Geddon.
Yeah, Ysera Geddon's fine.
Ysera Awakens Geddon, because I feel like he needs something on the board. Oh, he's going to commit to Brawl. Okay, so the idea behind the Brawl is that there's never going to be any more minions on the board than there is now.
So he just clears the boom bots regardless. So you could have cleared the boom bots.
And now he has Ysera Awakens Execute for Grom, and because he has Geddon left, and Infi has nothing left to actually deal with Geddon. Well, he has weapon Whirlwind, but it generally means that he's going to be too far behind. And by Whirlwind, I obviously meant Revenge.
One thing to consider as well is Infi doesn't have Alex. We didn't see her at all.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's made a cut somewhere for something. Fiery War Axe. Grom. To play around the Execute. Interesting.
Yeah, probably not expecting Ysera Awakens.
Yep, Awakens, Execute, GG.
Yep. Is there really a different play?
You could Fiery War Axe, Execute, if you want.
That's true, it just feels like you Awakens Execute, and then Geddon fits, and you get Geddon down anyway, so...
Two cards in hand for Infi. One of them was created by Sarad, which is something he does have to consider, I suppose. The other one he probably has no idea about.
Is he just letting the Grom live? Oh no, okay.
You hit the Grom, right, and you execute it.
I just don't know why you wouldn't kill Grom, because it's going to do 4 to you, so just kill it.
And this is just like a cheeky bait. You know, activate your
trying
Grom.
to make Infi act. And now the players are probably sat trying to do the fatigue maths.
Well, Sword started fatigue first, right? And I think Infi started fatigue the turn after. But if you look at the health...
Yeah, 76 versus 28.
I don't think there is any way Infi can win this.
But the more Sword lets him just whack with Grom, it means he's catching up quite a lot.
Well, his hero power sustains the Grom alone, but it doesn't sustain the fatigue.
Yeah, the fatigue's going to hit for 5 next turn, so he definitely needs to do something.
Unless he thinks he has Alex. Because we haven't seen Alex Strauss here.
Oh, that's true.
So maybe that's something he's considering. Like, he's
I think
waiting
you still
for
go
Alex.
for it, right?
I mean, you still have Baron Geddon of your own. I can do this all day, Infi says.
He's just trying to make the game go as long as possible.
How about we torture the casters right now, Sword thinking. Oh, now. Oh, okay. Well, you've hit me for X amount of damage already. I suppose I can finally kill you.
Yeah, it's just kind of like was there a reason to not do that earlier? I don't know.
And that's game over for Infi, I think.
Yeah, he takes the 7, does revenge. He's got. I hope he plays Astro for me. Yeah. Oh, and he got that.
You can draw a card for fatigue.
Yay. Okay, so after that long match, Sword does take the Warrior Mirror. I think from there you could see that Sword had a bit more experience. Other than the end, that I wasn't quite sure why he was just letting Grom hit him when he could kill him. But other than the last few turns, I think Sword had a better grasp on that matchup. But Infi still got a couple of games to take a win with the Warrior. So still, you know, it's not like he's out of it yet.
Yep, he still has to beat a Druid though, which is going to be pretty tough for Infi. I imagine the mid-range Druid is going to queue in next, trying to get that win and just take it to like the wire, the last game. And if the Shaman draws the God Hand that kills him in 5 turns, then great. Or you might just go for the Shaman now, try and get that quick win out of the way, and then have the good matchup for his last game. Because, you know, this is it for these players. One of them goes home, one of them progresses on till tomorrow. So there is a lot on the line for these guys.
Yeah, I think this is actually the last match of the day, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to finish on quite a nice drawn-out game here. And it is the Warrior versus Druid. So he's taking a good matchup here, trying to take the win. And he has one Innovate, Druid of the Claw, and Thorsten. Is he going to... I think you still throw the Taurus in the Druid here.
Yeah, he's not on coin either. If he was on coin, it might have been a bit different. He could have had a turn 3 Thorsten, but turn 4 Thorsten seems very slow. Ah, he just keeps the Druid. Okay. I would have wanted to kind of look for a wild growth there. Maybe he's happy with just having a 5-drop. Alright guys, so 3-2. Can Sword bring it back and stay in the bracket, or will Infi take this game? It's a hard matchup, but it's not unwinnable for a Warrior at all.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, looking at the hand as well, it's super slow from the Druid. So the Druid's not exactly, you know, going to ramp really quickly and run away with it like they're prone to do. And the Warrior does have like Despite, the Shield Slam's important, even the Owl. Do some work. Yeah, the Armor Smith down's fine. Druid of the Claw, is he going to go charge? Probably not.
Nope, go for the taunt there. It's a nice stable body. Execute's probably coming in. We're having a bit of a break up with the stream here, guys. Apologise. Not much I can do about it.
Yeah, we're okay though. We're just going to fire or execute. That's okay. You save the Armor Smith. There's no point really just sacrificing the Armor Smith in. It's probably going to gain you more health than the 4 damage to face gets anyway.
Nice is there as well. He's used the Innovate already. Going into turn 5, I believe. Can't quite tell. Alright now. So turn 4 for the Warrior here. Armor's up. And just past there's nothing to play just yet.
Yeah, no need to actually equip the Death Spite before you see anything worthwhile, to be honest.
Low Feb gonna come down. Let's lock out any spell, so any real removal can't be played here, and Infi has to take more of a passive turn here. Probably just play another Armor Smith, armor up. Or
yeah, his other option. Yeah, his other option is Death Bite, but I don't even mind that too much because it probably kills what's going to come down next turn. And if you lose the 3 attack from the War Axe, but at this point in the game, the War Axe doesn't really do too much anyway. Because now the Lotheb's going to have its free choice of like kill, and it'll probably kill an Armor Smith, but I don't know. He can Death Bite next turn. But now he's not hit face with the War Axe, so.
Yeah, why is he holding on to it? So if he had played the if he had played the War Axe last turn, he wouldn't be so far behind on board. Because he'd just be able to take. He would have killed the Lotheb, would have killed the Azure Drake, and he could have played Sludge Belcher or Shield Maiden, and then he would have had board. So yeah, he's kind of fallen off a little bit at this point, but he can still Shield Slam, Fiery War Axe, use the Armor Smith, then play the Belcher, or even coin Armor Smith if he feels it's necessary.
Yeah, I think the Shield Slam Belcher, and trade it, like just trade everything away. I think he has to, otherwise he's gonna fall too far behind. And it's roll in hand either. I mean, he could just double Shield Slam, coin Belcher, and keep the Armor Smith up.
He looks like he's actually going for that shield slam play. Now, what does he do here? I guess you just use your armor smith, right? The weapon. You've committed to holding this weapon for an extra turn. You might as well use it at this point. And now he equips the Death Spite. I don't understand this play. I don't understand the decisions he's making at all at this point.
Yeah, he's just setting the Death Spite up. If he didn't do it last turn, then he probably feels forced to do it this turn. He's still in an okay position though. He's on 26 health. He's not exactly like super behind or anything at all. So he's still doing all right.
But he had a fiery war axe and an armor smith. Why is he keeping the armor smith? Why is the armor smith so important? Well, you could have
got to stay out of that combo range, man.
Gotta get those armor pieces right. Seriously, I just don't quite understand his mentality with that play. But
okay, well you can clear off the 2/4, play Belcher and just armor up at this point, or he's probably safe enough to play Sarad and see what happens actually.
I mean, if he had played a Belcher and used his armor smith, he could have hid his Sarad behind the Belcher. There might have been a silence, it might have not have been. It just seems I don't know, a bit frustrating to watch.
Yeah, this is still fine though. He chooses to hold off on the weapon.
Yeah, he didn't need to use the Death Spite there, because if the keeper goes into the Belcher anyway, the armor smith will be able to take him out, and then the armor smith's purpose is being fulfilled. Killed that keeper. Oh, he goes on for the swipe. Okay. So now you Shield Maiden, I suppose?
Yeah, he needs to kill this 2/3. He can't just let it live, I don't think. He's just letting it go though, and it's things like Savage Roar, like Force Savage now does more damage, and even Swipe, then the keeper can proc that. I don't know. Leaving it up seems strange to me. I'd have just killed it by now. What's he waiting for the weapon?
I honestly don't know. He seems to hold on to these weapons at kind of interesting times, and now this Keeper of the Grove is 2 for 1 on smaller minions already. And the one thing which I did notice from Infi yesterday it was his warrior that kind of let him down, and perhaps he's just not as good with Control Warrior as he is with some of his other decks.
Yeah. I mean, he could just, it feels kind of bad, but attack and then revenge, sorry, to clear off all the minions. It gives the, it does some damage to 5/4, but it's still 5/3 now and he can place around. So I think this is okay. Gets the spell, builds up a bit of a board, and the Druid without a board really struggles. And Cleave actually isn't too terrible, just to do a bit of extra damage to help clear off the minions, and it can proc execute, etc. There's a couple of minions on the board.
Yeah, it does a lot better than his Dark Communion or whatever he had last game.
Astral Communion, yeah.
Astral Communion, yeah. So, yeah. But this Sarad's taken care of very easily. And the last silence of the Druid does get used up. So Sylvanas will surely have an impact on the game if he draws at the right time. So now we just go to the Mega Armor play.
Yeah, this is fine. And it still requires like a hero power or something to kill her. Just can't exactly leave her up or hit him for 6. It's going to be pretty nice considering the Druid is on 16 health.
Force and Shredder? Or does he feel like he needs to clear the Justica?
Yeah, you don't want to be put down to 10. He could just have Grom. So
yeah, Savage Roar could be used here, I suppose.
He could just Druid of the Claw. Oh, is he charging in? Okay, Druid of the Claw Taunt would have been okay, but I guess it does the same thing.
It guarantees it, right?
Yeah, and this is just now all he needs to do is play Thorison and set up for the Savage Roar. Owl's going to make the Brawl really good. I think he still plays Thorison. He needs the second Savage Roar really. And he has Wrath instead, so he can cycle. Maybe get that second Savage Roar and then play Thorison.
Oh, Innovate's not brilliant, but Thorson's most likely going to come down here.
Well,
Unless he plays
Innovate
on
makes
Brawl.
him that even with Thorson, like, he could still whip in some extra damage. And considering he needs to just, like, poke down all this armor first, it does buy him some time. And playing around Brawl's pretty nice. Yeah, it's the only thing that's really going to cut him down, although Fiery Warx is definitely going to help. But now he can play Emperor, and then the Brawl's still not great.
Although Cleave is going to be great with the Fiery War Axe if he does play Emperor. But that's if he doesn't play any more minions with it. What's this? Oh, Harrison, forget that. Fiery War Axe is now gone. He gets an extra draw. And he gets a new hero power if he wants it.
I think you go for it.
Hero power first. Make the attack.
Yeah, because then he can hero power twice, can he?
Yep, and then he gains a new one.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wondered if that was a misplay because he could have got the Rogue one, but I suppose you just don't pick Rogue. Oh, we don't get to see the options, which kind of sucks, but we'll see which one he picks, of course.
That is a great one, actually, against Control Warrior. That's probably
Although,
the best.
now he's playing into Brawl.
He is, but you'll generate a dude every turn at least now, going forward. Which is a little bit more useful than Druid Hero Power, in this matchup specifically. Oh wow, and he survives. How many resources Infi has to pour into this match? And this Druid just has so many cards. Soda is lining up for a bit of a comeback here in this whole series.
Yeah, this was one of the harder matchups for the Warrior, to be fair. Aspirant's still okay, you can just drop Thoros and Aspirant, make it a little bit difficult for him to be dealt with and still probably leave a minion on the board.
Yeah, make a dude as well.
Yeah, why not?
So if he picks up another Savage Roar now, he's got so much damage potential. Oh, he can't even clear Forest on with Cleave. That's brutal.
Yeah.
Last heart card in hand here. The Warrior goes into top deck mode. Oh man, this is looking really rough for Infi.
Yeah, it's going to really struggle. I don't know what the way out is here. So with Savage Roar combo, it's 14, 19, it's 25. So he just needs to just keep hitting face, really, and you may as well drop the Sylvanas. Oh, is he going to clear and just use the minions to take it out, I guess?
Maybe, yeah, he's showing one card per turn, right? So might as well. I would innovate Sylvanas here, even. Consider that. Unless he thinks the dudes are enough. I mean, the dudes do pile up the Savage Roar damage, right? So he can play a little bit patiently here. Oh, Grom. Well, he can clear the Forest finally. But
Yep.
it feels
If he doesn't look too happy.
I don't blame him, to be honest, but this is a bad matchup. Grom's going to come down, takes out that Forsen, and it's going to probably get BGH'd. Unless he keeps his BGH for later, and what's that? Another Savage Roar.
No, you BGH. play some others and then just play next turn, I think is the plan.
Play a dude.
Unless there's a top deck Brawl.
Yep, double Savage Roar. Should be able to close this out very soon. Shield block, okay, she can sustain. Belcher, just keep him alive. I know. What can Infi draw that will bring him back into the game apart from Brawl? I don't think he has two. Nothing. I don't think there is anything you can draw at this point. I think you do just clear the Belcher, play Dr. Boom, and then you win next turn with double Savage Roar, right?
You just do what you want, to be honest, I think, at this point. Yeah, you can Savage Roar this time, clear the minions, play Boom, Hero Power, Savage Roar next time. It's easy. It's gonna. I'm surprised Infi hasn't actually conceded yet, to be honest.
And there we go. Ties up the series
As
3-3.
if I knew he was losing. Yeah, so it's going to be the Shaman versus the Warrior. So this match can go really either way. The Shaman, if the Shaman whiffs at all, and the Warrior gets Fiery War Axe, then that's going to be really difficult for the Shaman to actually burst the Warrior down. But if the Shaman can have a quick opening hand, and especially if there's no weapons early for the Warrior, then just the raw damage will be too much to keep up with.
So this is probably going to be a quick last game. The Warrior will either just sustain and outlast him until about turn 8 and 9, and the Shaman will run out of burst, or the Shaman will just destroy him within that time. So not going to be a long drawn out game like the Control Warrior mirror we had, and that game wasn't too bad. I think that was only about 15 turns, and the Warrior just run out of resources as he generally does in that matchup. So well, it's the final game of the day and of the losers bracket semi-finals. One of these players is going to go home, the other player is going to progress on, and he's going to be playing tomorrow. So this all to play for right now.
Okay, pretty reasonable opening hand. He gets the Trog and the Feral Spirit, and I think he's on the coin as well. So Trog turn 1, coin Spirit seems okay. Yeah, that's actually going to be really difficult for the Warrior to deal with. Although he does have a Fiery War Axe, so that's something into Death's Fight.
Yeah, he has a good hand actually, the Warrior. He has, yeah, definitely now with the execute. He has kind of everything he needs.
But the draw from the Shaman here with the 2-drop is going to be pretty nice with that Tome Golem. Because now that's like hard to deal with because the weapon doesn't straight up clean it up.
Oh yeah. Totem Golem's a good play, and he gets the coin Feral Spirits next turn as well, which is always nice. I don't know if you really want to hit that. If you play Acolyte, I don't see a problem with hitting it. Or you just kind of maybe just armor it past.
Is he going for the revenge?
Oh yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
You just need to slow the deck down as much as possible.
Yeah, coin Feral Spirit.
Oh, the Doomhammer is important in this matchup. That's going to chip away all the Warrior's armor, or any that he can build up. So Doomhammer is super important, especially with a Rockbite weapon available as well.
Well, there's one card in Infi's deck that could probably end this match pretty quickly, and that's Harrison Jones. If he Harrison's a Doomhammer, just takes so much away from the Shaman. And you'll just draw everything he could ever need.
Oh, I'll be surprised if he does Ancestral Knowledge. Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to be overloaded for turn 5, because you definitely want to put the Doomhammer.
Yeah, it's the most important turn, really, for Shaman, playing that Doomhammer on 5. So now his choice is just Weapon the Wolf and Belcher?
Yeah, I like the Sarad, to be honest.
Yeah?
Because when there's nothing on board, you just want to kind of get something down. And the Belcher can be a bit more reactive. Because you don't have turn 6, right? So, is the Sarad down now going to be better than the Sarad down later? Because what's the Belcher going to start, like a charge minion, I guess? But, chosen neither, though. He's decided against both of us, Nick.
He just wants to draw cards. I would rather bully board at this point. Because you still have to win as well.
Now he probably wants to send it. Is he not equipping Doomhammer?
I don't know why you wouldn't.
This is when you try and get too greedy with something like... This is why I don't really like Unbound Elemental in the deck. Because I feel it's too slow. And now, yeah, you know, we can do Doomhammer next turn. But he's just lost an additional 4 damage. Well, he's lost 2 damage because he used Abusive. But like the Doomhammer build-up is so important. And equipping it a little bit late. Because if this board gets dealt with now, then like, you know, the turn was almost wasted.
Yeah, I probably would have equipped Doomhammer that turn myself. Because you just need to just push the damage, right?
Gonna go into Rockbiter now, though. You can use the 2-1 to kill the token, and then do an additional 7 to face with the Elemental and his Doomhammer.
So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a Silence comes down.
Right, well, the problem is he needs to do something, because he's still going to take, what, 4, so he's got to take 6. Does he execute the 0-1? That's the question.
Not
There
yet.
might be a thought. There might be a thought.
It might actually cost him the game.
Dude, that's like a lot of potential damage. He has 5 mana. He could like lightning bolt, crackle, crackle, and that's like 3 damage. You'd say.
He just needs to draw a lightning bolt here now, and you might have had enough. Oh, okay.
I like Finley. No, I like the charge minion. Let's be honest.
Yeah, just play the charge.
You
Hit
do
him,
6,
hit him the face
8,
more.
yeah. Oh, is he going for Finley? No, you can always just Finley hero power next to him. You've got the mana, right?
Yeah. Or does he want to take advantage of... He might want to take advantage of the spell power totem while it's there. Steady shot, anyone? No, he didn't instantly pick it, so he definitely didn't get steady shot.
Yeah, he didn't snap pick. Or is he like steady shot or armor up? I wonder.
If he's got mage ping's not too bad. Oh, he did get steady shot. Yeah, that would have just been... So now you can steady shot, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Is he actually thinking of killing the armor-smith? Crazy, just smart. You have what, like 2 damage guaranteed from the horse rider. You have crackle. You've got 4 from Doomhammer, 2 guaranteed from your hero power. What more do you need?
Oh, this is so tough. So Shield Maiden, armor up does give him some health, but it's not enough.
I think you have to execute, don't you? You have to Shield Maiden execute over armor up.
Well, he gains 2 armor here, so he goes up to 15, but I don't think it's enough.
So there's 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The crackle starts to roll high, right?
Yeah, so he's got...
But he does have spell power.
4, yeah, he's... Yep, 6, 8. Well, he can't even...
I think you still go for it. I don't think there's a world in which you don't just go for it.
Unless you recall... You fish for another crackle, and then you can double crackle. I think...
But then the problem is you're going into Alexstrasza.
Yes, that's true. 5... not quite there.
Does he go for the other crackle? I don't even mind like horse rider hero power.
There we go.
That's you
what
can
he
just
needed.
get rock fire. Okay.
Yeah. I would have looked for cards first instead of crackling.
Yeah, I think drawing the. I suppose it depended though, because if you look for cards and then you hit the big crackle, then like you can't win that turn. So I understand why I did that. But yeah, there we go. Like a good win there. I mean, what a comeback.